shocking political upheavals in recent history. How Generation Z literally overthrew the government of Nepal in just 5 days. What started as anger over social media bans ended with the first female prime minister in Nepal's history. This is the complete timeline of what happened exactly, with proper facts, names, numbers, and figures, based on complete truth from multiple news channel reports and deep analysis. On September 4, 2025, the government of Nepal made a decision that would change everything. They ordered the shutdown of 26 social media platforms. Facebook, X, YouTube, LinkedIn, Reddit, Signal, and Snapchat were all blocked for failing to register under new government rules. But this wasn't just about social media registration. The real trigger was the Nepo Kids trend. Young Nepalis had been using social media to expose the lavish lifestyles of politicians' children. While the average Nepali made just $1,400 per year, ruling elite families flaunted their wealth online. This display of inequality sparked massive public anger, especially from Generation Z. The government thought banning social media would silence the criticism. They were catastrophically wrong. Within hours, Generation Z began organizing offline protests across the country. What started as digital dissent was about to become physical revolution. Out of Nepal's nearly 30 million people, about 40% belong to Generation Z, born between 1997 and 2012. For the first time in Nepal's history, a protest of this size would be entirely led by young people. By September 6th, tens of thousands of young Nepalis poured onto the streets. Their demands were clear: end corruption, stop nepotism, and restore true democracy. The protests spread rapidly to all major cities across all. The government responded with force. Police used tear gas and water cannons against the protesters. But Generation Z refused to back down. On September 8th, the situation escalated dramatically. Protesters set the country's parliament building on fire. They also torched the homes of several prominent politicians, set fire to the Supreme Court. These were key symbols of the state they wanted to overthrow. The government's response became increasingly violent. On Monday, September 9th, police began shooting live protesters. At least 19 people were killed that day, with more than 100 injured. According to the health ministry, 30 people had been killed, and more than 1,000 wounded in the clashes. Protesters also began breaking into prisons and freeing inmates. Police stated that as of September 10th, more than 13,500 prisoners had escaped from prisons nationwide. Nepal's military took over the streets of Kathmandu after 10 p.m. on Tuesday, September 10th. The army was deployed in a desperate bid to end the protests. The pressure became too much for the government to handle. On September 9th, 2025, Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli resigned. Several government ministers resigned alongside him. This marked the complete collapse of Nepal's government.
They like, we can't do this, man. We gotta go ahead quick. My bad, I'm eating a little tuna. It's fine. It started getting so bad, they quit the job. I don't blame them though. You know, you working for people, whatever, right? You can't control how they lead their situation. Whether they're being corrupt behind your back, whether they're being corrupt and you helping them. At the end of the day, a job is a job. It's not worth your life, safety, or freedom. So I don't blame them for getting up out that situation. I really don't. But this TV show I'm watching called Continuum, it's crazy I brought it up, but I don't believe in coincidence. I'm so happy to be watching this TV show, which basically is about time travel, which ain't got nothing to do with this, not yet. But back in 2012, was a lot of stuff happening. And basically what was happening was they going against the government. That's basically what the whole movie about. The same stuff that these people doing in Nepal, they doing here in America and the States. And that's what they was talking about. They just going against the grain. They tired of the injustice. They tired of suffering, and they working hard, and they not really getting enough for their work. So they taking the power back in their hands, and they shutting that shit down. And unfortunately, like, the revolution, they say will be televised, but as you can see, it's not. This stuff happened last month. But what happened last month as well was the Charlie Sheen, Charlie Kirk stuff going on over here, which was so kind of theatrical. I don't really know what to believe about that situation, but nevertheless, here in the States, they want to keep us distracted with that. Meanwhile, across seas, they shutting shit down for them government playing with them. They banned their social medias, TikTok, Reddit, Instagram, YouTube. I can only imagine if they did that over here, how we'll start cutting up. They already know better, but check it out, what they went through and what they've been going through since last month.
In just 5 days of protests, the international community watched in shock. The South Asian democracy crumbled. Human Rights Watch condemned the appalling disregard for the lives of citizens and desperate need to suppress criticism. The UN Rights Office expressed deep concern over unnecessary and disproportionate use of force by security forces. Amnesty International called for independent investigation and accountability, supporting protesters' rights to demonstrate peacefully. By September 12th, the week's violence had left 51 dead and more than 1,300 injured. Nepal's government had completely collapsed. Generation Z had achieved what seemed impossible. They had overthrown their government. But here's where the story gets truly unprecedented. With the government gone, Generation Z turned to Discord to organize their next move. More than 145,000 citizens joined a Discord server that reporters dubbed the new National Convention. Participants described the platform as effectively replacing Parliament. The server was called the Parliament of Nepal by its members. More than 100,000 users met virtually to debate who should lead Nepal next. After discussions and several polls, they had to choose an interim leader. The democratic process was completely transparent and participatory. The members settled on Sushila Karki, the country's former Chief Justice. They proposed her name for meetings with the army to discuss transition. Born in the Morang district of eastern Nepal, Karki had built a distinguished legal career. She became Nepal's first female Chief Justice in 2016. During her tenure, she became known for her...
Now that's pretty dope. That's the people leading the people and, for the people. This is really dope. I like what I'm hearing right now. And it only took them since September the 8th to the 10th, basically 2 to 3 days to all of this stuff to happen. All of this stuff started on the 8th to like the 10th. Actually the 11th, I believe. It was like no longer than a week, to be honest, where the government was overthrown and they had somebody new in office, which was somebody of the people. And they're figuring out how to move forward as a nation. They're using Discord. It's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't know who had the power to shut it all down, but whoever did, they gonna have to see what they could do about getting their social medias back.
Zero-tolerance approach to corruption. In an ironic turn, Medium the government tried to suppress became the forum for the country's future. On September 12, 2025, Nepal made history. Sushila Karki was sworn in as Nepal's first female prime minister. President Ramchandra Paudel officially appointed her as interim leader. This capped a tumultuous week that saw massive youth-led protests topple the previous government. The appointment was celebrated by protesters who had demanded change. A statement from the president's office announced he had dissolved parliament on Karki's recommendation. Scheduled for March 5, 2026, now leads an interim government tasked with stabilizing the country. The streets of Kathmandu have returned to relative calm. Generation Z had not only overthrown a government but chosen its replacement through digital democracy. The international community praised the peaceful transition to interim leadership. Nepal's uprising wasn't happening in isolation. In 2022, Sri Lanka's government collapsed amid youth demonstrations over economic mismanagement and corruption. In 2024, Bangladesh's student-led uprising ousted Sheikh Hasina Wajed. Nepal became the third South Asian government in recent years to fall to youth-driven protest. The unemployment rate for youth aged 15 to 24 in Nepal was 20.8% in 2024, according to the World Bank. In fiscal year 2024 to 25, Nepal issued 839,266 exit labor permits, staggering out-migration for a country of 30 million. Remittances hovered around 33% of GDP in 2024, among the highest ratios worldwide. In all three cases, digital networks enabled rapid mobilization against entrenched elites. Though the outcomes diverged, Sri Lanka regained stability quickly. Bangladesh has struggled, and Nepal's trajectory remains uncertain. The pattern has caught global attention as a new form of democratic revolution. Generation Z has proven they can topple governments when pushed too far. Social media bans intended to silence dissent instead sparked revolutions. Political scientists are studying these movements to understand the future of democracy. Nepal's trajectory toward March 2026 elections remains uncertain, but one thing is clear. The September 2025 Nepal Revolution will be remembered as a defining moment in modern democracy. Generation Z proved that digital natives can organize, mobilize, and govern in ways never seen before. From social media ban to female prime minister, the lessons from Nepal will influence how governments and citizens interact in the digital age. This wasn't just a revolution, it was an evolution of democracy itself. The impact extends far beyond Nepal's borders, inspiring youth movements worldwide. If this incredible story of youth and digital democracy amazed you as much as it amazed us, smash that like button right now. Don't forget to subscribe of world-changing events.
What's really going on over there? What's everybody so shook up? It can't be just social media, right? She said 14 hours, so it's like one day. 48 hours. So it took one day, like I said. I thought it was like 2 days. They did it less than a week though, for sure. They burn shit up. They fucking it up. She don't really look Asian. I think well she do. She's probably like Philippine or from Bangladesh. She look like one of them types. But the other dude he look more Indian. They look usually like these Asians. You say that about Africans. If you really know the distinction, that's why I say that because I don't know. Uh, they got this distinct like Vietnamese and different one. They got that certain look like she look like she Japanese. You know, Look at all these people, dog. There's only one little city. They going around 90 seconds of how Nepal made global history. See, this the type of shit they got going on in Memphis, Chicago. If people would stop all this black and white shit, it could be real changes made. You see what happened with them just this month or last month, how they ran up the south side of Chicago. All of this bullshit going on, right? I understand that uh, there's violence in the inner cities, there's violence in everywhere, all around the world. Every inch, square inch of land that you can touch your feet on, there's something dangerous going on. No place is safe. This world is not a safe place. That's why so many people do so many things for protection. Witchcraft, weapons, you know, prey. I don't know, the weak. But anyway, like this is just a prime example of how to stand together no matter what's going on. Even though they're all Asians, they look at each other like, uh, how can I put this? Like the country, right? They are Asians. Some of them are, uh, like I said, Chinese, Japanese, Philippines, Vietnamese, different stuff, right? But at the end of the day, besides being all that, they gonna be like, we just. And before I even said it, I don't even know for a fact that they all like that because obviously Korea, North Korea, they got their own little stuff going on. And if they didn't have their own little stuff going on, they would have took heed to what these people in Nepal doing, what the people did in Sri Lanka, and the other places. I don't know. I'm just not hearing about this stuff. Like I say, we got stuff going on here in America. A bunch of fluky stuff. Not no disrespect to Charlie Kirk and his family. What happened? Whatever. I mean, that stuff happened. He lost his life or he did it. I don't know. But he not fighting for our freedom and for our rights like how these people got going on over there. This would have been something that would inspire people to really change the way that we live here in America. Like off the strip. Oh, just not feeling well. You been drinking a lot of water. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Kind of like oil it up a little bit. Make it light. Oh, okay. I like it with the apples you can start shit off. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's retarded. You ever use some aloe vera? That's a good to drink man for your skin too. They just keep them in the house. I use it for spray on or rub on. Yeah. You heard they took over the government in Nepal September 12th. No, the 8th. They said all the government kids running around standing getting it while they all out there and got it. And they tired of that shit because that ain't cool. They was like trying to protest peacefully and they was like, y'all get the fuck on. And then they ended up burning down the courthouse. They basically broke down all the government buildings and then all the government people. We did all this in 48 hours. And then they elected somebody from the public who wanted to step up to do it, and now they even do legal. And they finna meet with the president and basically like up the run. Yes, it is. Carry on. But the police killed like they killed her. No, okay. Look in Nepal, y'all. They standing up. They tired of this shit. This was September the 8th, and it's already October the 14th. A month, well into a month over. Only reason I heard about this because what's his name? Star Trek or Trek? What I Trek? He a guy on YouTube. Him and a lot of other people. They be sending up videos. Like I say, they like conspiracy theorists or whatever you want to call them, but basically they truth seekers and they be trying to figure out what's going on. And people send them a lot of videos, like stuff that I don't really see, basically from YouTube. I mean, from TikTok. And then I just be trying to see if it's true. So I looked up this information, and lo and behold, thank you. They they shut this government down last month on the 8th. The government they started getting mad about them protesting, so they killed 51 people and injured 100. Uh, I think it was like 151. It was a lot of people, 151,000 or something like that. But yeah, revolution. Those are sacrifices that some people lost their life to have a little bit of freedom. For the rest of the generation to be happy and to have some type of equality. We deal with racism a lot over here, but it's no difference than anywhere else. The people in power want to stay in power and they want to keep it that way for whatever reason. I mean, we all want a little bit of something, right? But it's only fair. It's only right. How could these government officials, their kids don't work, but they get all these privileges? Also 1,000, not 1,500. Dang. All So to be honest, I don't know what a prime minister is. We do things quite differently over here. I want to look into it really quick just to see what it is. Prime Minister of Nepal. So the Prime Minister of Nepal serves as the head of government and leads. The Prime Minister of Nepal serves as the head of government and leads the Council of Ministers. The primary duties include, my bad, hold on real quick. All right. the Their primary duties includes formulating government policies and ensuring their implementation, representing Nepal in international forums and diplomatic relations, overseeing the executive branch of the government and coordinating with various ministries, maintaining the confidence of the parliament, specifically the Pratit. I ain't even gonna try to pronounce that. Sabaha, Sabaha, to remain in office. These responsibilities are crucial for the government and administration of the country. So, so basically, they like the president. In other words, legislative role, adversary role, representation, crisis management, public communication. They basically the head of. Let me see what by definition, what does this mean? The head of an elected government, the principal minister of sovereign or state. So basically, overseas they got ministers, which is like the presidents. They call them ministers, I guess. Prime minister. I don't know why it just dawned on me like that. Prime minister, head of the state. I mean, prime minister. It makes sense. It says it in this thing. I just had a brain freeze, like prime minister. I don't know why. Prime minister is a minister of the states, I guess. I don't know why it just dawned on me like that. But when I hear minister, I don't think of a person like this. I mean, the Pope, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Even growing up as Christian, we never talked about the Pope. I grew up Baptist in that denomination, even been into Church of God in Christ denomination. As a Christian, we never talked about the Pope. Maybe the elders did. I don't know. I never heard any conversations about him. So therefore, I never really looked at the Pope as prime minister either, or of any importance like Catholic Church and that side of the Christians, like whatever they do. And let me tell y'all the difference because some people are Catholic, some people are not, some people are Christian, some people are not. As far as what I know about Christianity, there are different types of Christians, and just like there's different type of Africans. I'm not from Africa, but we're considered African American. In Africa, there are Ghanaians, there are Nigerians, there are Kenyans, Ethiopians, different kind of Africans, right? It's no different with Christianity. There are different kind of Christians, different cultures, different cultural beliefs, different ways that we praise God. And majority of us, we believe within Christianity faith that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior. I don't know everything about every other denomination, but the two that I've been to church to, that's primarily what they believe. The way that they serve God is quite different, but nevertheless, the beliefs are the same. So, with that being said, as far as Catholics, I don't know how they get down. I don't know what they do. I just know they're always in the news for something unholy like. And we never really considered them to be Christians, sort of say Catholics are Catholics. That's just that. As far as a Christian and Catholics, it seems like we on two different paths. That's just how I grew up. I don't know any other Christians who grew up similar or different. I don't know. You could tell me how you grew up or whatever. I don't know. Majority of Americans that are Hispanic do the Catholic stuff. Mother Mary, the rosaries, all of that type of stuff, right? They do that stuff. We don't. So when I hear prime minister, I never thought of them more so as anything of power. I never thought of them as nothing. That's why I'm looking up now like prime minister because I don't even look at the Pope like that. And no disrespect to the Pope, all honor, I guess. I don't know what the man does. I don't know what he's been doing. I don't really care. I know the last Pope got to doing too much with those doors he's opening up, and the man just got us all in a frenzy at this current moment with all this demonic activity going on in the world, across the world. Uh, I don't know what to say about them, prime minister, and how they get down, all of this stuff, right? But one thing I do know, injustice looks the same whether here in America or across the seas, and the people, are starting to wake up to see what's going on. Energy never lies. They're tired of putting their all into something and not receiving what they deserve. People are not even working 40 hours anymore. They're slowly but surely throwing in extra hours, getting more work out of people, paying them less. It's like, when will this stuff stop and when will it be an even playing field? Uh, the veil is lifting. People are starting to see what's really going on in this world. The power is at hand and how they like to play their hand. They're exposing their hand and their corruption and how they really could care less about the people. Now the people are starting to speak up for themselves like as they should. Unfortunately, they try to shut these people up. They try to shut them down by killing them, silencing their ways of communicating with the rest of the world, seeking out for help and resources. You could just see how the people, the power at hand, the government or whatever, how they use their resources, our resources, to hurt us. And it's really messed up. It's just, who can you trust, right? It leads to that question. And it's like, my thing is like with the prime minister, all this and that. That's why I had to look this stuff up to see what type of archaeology they have, what type of power system. Let me see one more thing because this stuff is all new to me. In Asia, how does their power system work as far as prime ministers? Break it down as far as the structure of power. where the prime minister is elected by the members of an elected parliament. The diet informs the cabinet, which holds executive power. The cabinet is collectively responsible to the diet. And the House of Representatives has the power to remove the prime minister by a vote of no confidence. The prime minister can also dissolve the House of Representatives if they wish. The prime minister institutional power is stronger than in conventional European countries, where the prime minister shares authority with the president. Japan's political system has developed differently. That's probably how in Korea they did the same thing. He must have used his power to dissolve the House of Representatives, and therefore, dude is doing Korea how he pleases. Let me see just to be sure because I don't know. What is the head of Korea called? North Korea and South Korea. What do they have as the president or whatever? The states or countries' power. So Kim whole family basically own the country. It says both countries have their own political system and leaders, with North Korea being a one-party state under the Kim family, while South Korea has a multi-party system. Uh, who runs North Korea and what's their title? I know they said Kim Jong Un, but I don't know if he's a prime minister or what. So he been around since 2011 in his position. He not giving that up. This man right here. Ain't no telling what I, oh yeah, I heard he just killed 3 people for watching let me show y'all. Y'all probably won't believe it if I told you. But this man, he does a lot. Uh somebody just got the death penalty for watching movies, and I'm not kidding. I wish I could make this stuff up, but I mean, these people ain't playing. This happened 2024. It just happened a month ago as well. Uh I want to watch one more recent. You really can't know what's going on over there because they so secretive. Let me see. I think this is right here. These people power home in America. Act like they could go take over everywhere, do anything. Damn, got us looking crazy. Now this make them look good. I ain't capping about this. Like, I mean, in this situation, I feel like they do need to be penalized because you know a catastrophe coming, unlike they did back with Katrina, unlike they did with a lot of our situations, and they just let it happen, let nature destroy everything. He not going for that. He like, if y'all don't do what y'all supposed to do, you getting the death penalty. You gonna either get on top of this shit or it's gonna get on top of you. And I don't blame him for that. Like, do your job. But what I do dislike is about these people watching these movies. Let me show you real quick because this is something totally different. I just wanted to click on. Uh, North Korea executes people for sharing foreign films. Now check this out. I heard this on the news the other day. I was trying to show the video so they could play it. We'll see. Reject all cookies. They always trying to say that they want to know who want to know what they got going on. We all want to know what y'all over there. North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, picture here with daughter and heir of parent Kim Jong-un, hand out Korean Central News Agency. This is his daughter. He having a conversation with his daughter. Grip on this population over the past decade. People for activities like sharing foreign TV dramas. According to the report, the UN Human Rights Office said on Friday that tech enabled state repression under the Dynasty. Kim Dynasty. He reminded me of uh, Genghis Khan. He had a really nice dynasty. He was real strategic, I believe. He had something to do with the art of war. The way his father was, the way that he did things. I learned about this man in an accident. Very powerful story. Let me talk about Genghis Khan for a second because he's from over there. Well, supposed to be. You know how the map changed and everything, right? So basically, he was taking over what they call Tartaria, which I don't know where it's located in like Central Asia. He was taking over those two areas, but uh, so this was his thing, right? Christianity was on the rise, and just like I told y'all about Catholics, this was the Catholics on the rise. They were called the Knights Templars, and well, I take that back. This for entertainment purposes only because it's just for entertainment purposes. If you know, you know. But anyway, so that what was going on. Christianity was forced on everybody, even the slaves. Like they like to say it was just the slaves. They put this on us, our people, so we had our own religion, whatever, right? It's true to a sense. But the truth about it is the whole world was being forced on this stuff, on Christianity. And also to the point where they fought about this stuff. Genghis Khan was like, we not Christians, we not going for that. And anybody try otherwise, then we at war basically. So they went to war with the Christians. They was like Genghis Khan getting too big. We don't want him to be basically an influence over this world. We want Christianity to be the influence over the world. And they fought about that. Long story short, Marco Polo, his father was a merchant. He'd go different places, trading stuff. And his son kind of did the same. But the father had got in bad graces with Genghis Khan. So in exchange of his life, he had to give up his son. So his son was basically grew up under Genghis Khan, Marco Polo. And the father was telling him like, man, they finna go to war with y'all. Let Genghis Khan know you need to come over here with me. You know what I'm saying? Basically trying to tell his son to pick a side because it's time we finna go to war. And yeah, it's a very interesting story. But still to this day, they over there it's a power control. Everybody want their areas. You see how they are divided up in power. It is what it is. I mean, it's complicated. They keep it that way for a reason. Unless you grew up over there, you will kind of understand how they do things. Just like if you grew up over here in America, you understand how we do things. Like we're one nation, supposedly under God, but we have one leader. Of course, we got different sections, fractions, or whatever, right? How that power is broken down into each governed state. And I'm pretty sure it's similar in different countries, how every country has different countries, how one continent has different countries, and those countries have different states. So However, whatever, right? I haven't been anywhere, so I don't know. I don't know. I love geography. History is his story. I don't know what's true about history. I just know uh what I believe. I believe that certain things did happen. You know, certain names in history, certain things have happened. Just like you can say you believe in Jesus or you don't. I believe in him. And I believe that he has walked and uh traveled the world, left his dynasty. I don't know where I'm at with it. Uh, uh hold on. I didn't even know if this was showing or not. I hope so. My stuff started. My connection running slow. My time. Let me try one more thing. All right, yeah. I'm gonna have to wrap it up. It's going dead. Let me show y'all who I got this information from, though. This the guy right here, and this is like one little segment of going on in the world. He just dropped this yesterday, Monday. I like watching stuff about Michigan too. Where I'm at, it be a lot of stuff. It's like in the UP, right? We got two parts of Michigan. The bottom part is the mitten, which everybody know about the mitten, Michigan. But on top of the mitten is another part called the UP, Upper Peninsula, and it's mainly like I haven't been there yet, but from the UP, there's a bridge that goes to Canada. So it's like you take a little trolley to the UP or whatever, it's a bridge or whatever. Let me just show you. But his name is iTrack. They got all the good stuff. He sound like I sound a little bit. Pretty cool. He be having the bomb videos. Him and a lot of other people. I only watch like a handful of people on YouTube. Mainly guys, cause for some reason they are doing this stuff. And the females I watch is mainly like two females. One of them she does some similar to this, but she got like a whole lot of. She got like uh I don't know what to say about hers. Her stuff like movies. If you like long videos and like they real good too. That's all things Jenny. Her videos the bomb. She like makes spiritual videos, celebrity insights. Uh, she do a lot of different videos. Really dope. Really dope. I just watch hers once a day. Right here is all things Jenny. 10 bizarre celebrity conspiracy theories. We gonna watch that one next. But yeah, all things Jenny, and then it's another chick too. It's like two other girls too. Man, here she go right here, the Black Cauldron. I ain't want to get her name wrong. So she all about spooky stuff like me. Y'all love everything scary, everything occult, everything dark, everything about death, like all of that type of stuff. I like that stuff. I'm not easily frightened by it. I just like it. And then this is my new guy, Dougie. He do scary stories too. He been in Michigan a few. He from Illinois, like me. I like his personality. Like I like people from home, you know, from Illinois. Almost False. He another dude. I just started watching his shit. Be the bomb, hands down. But anyway, yeah, nothing from the. I learned from all things Jenny. I learned from her, and he just for entertainment. She just for entertainment, and the other dude, I learned from him. So that's what I do. I learn on these videos, and some of them just for entertainment. You know, like ghost stories and stuff like that, because I have experienced, un, let's say, paranormal activity. I've experienced. I don't know what to call it. Like certain stuff that, like, you know, it's not a ghost. You just don't know what it is, right? So I've had those experiences as well, and I'll tell y'all some stories. Not right now though, about like different little things I've seen and witnessed and experienced. Uh, like I've seen ghosts, demons, um, something with green eyes out in the woods. I don't know what it was. Wasn't trying to find out. I seen a shadow person before, and I didn't know what it was until I looked it up. Like certain stuff I had to look up or ask people or whatever. Like, or some people were just talking about it and I remember. Like from these videos, the scary ones that people have experiences, it was just like a shadow. Blue eyes, a shadow with eyes. Just imagine a shadow with eyes. But like, like I don't know how to describe it. Like, I don't know, dog. That didn't happen to me one time. Why I don't know. I didn't even know these things exist, but it scared the fuck out of me. Um, a lot of things did. I don't scare easily either. But this thing, it kind of called to me. Like, it was kind of like telepathic. It was like I got this feeling. I just come in the house, I'm chilling or whatever, but some telling me, some basically pulling me to like a magnet, right? Come in at my grandma's door. I'll just tell y'all the story. My grandma passed away. It was the winter time. We we just had the funeral. We back at my grandma's house, and we stayed like in the suburbs, like 30 minutes from the inner city. My grandma stayed on the south side of Chicago. So before we went back home, we just chilled in the city for a while. We was at my grandma's house. My dad's mom. It really broke his heart. It broke my heart too. I never saw my dad cry before this, or heard him cry before this. And uh, we was just hanging around my grandma's house before we went back home, or if we was gonna go back home. I don't remember. This was like at least 10 years ago, maybe more. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been a while since my little sister passed as well. I don't really try to keep track of how long it's been. I just know. But I know my sister was still alive at this time. My grandma died before her. Anyway, we outside for a while, and I go inside of the house towards. This is when some leading me all the way towards the back. Like she got in Chicago they have like basically brick homes, and they have big porches, big patio porches. You walk up, and you can sit on the porch, or you can go inside the closed area, whatever. Right? Majority of the houses on the block got porches. You go up and go up. And I go up some more stairs because there was like a house downstairs and a house upstairs. Majority of houses in Chicago are duplexes as well. But my grandma owned it's like a regular house, but a whole another house downstairs, another house upstairs. And my mom's mom got a similar house as well. But hers is like on the main floor, and then another house upstairs. And then she got a basement. Um, go in the house, go upstairs. I go straight because some telling me to go from the front door to the back door. Walking towards the back door, the door cracked. Cause I'm feeling like I feel like I know when a door is open and I know when the TV come on. So in my mind, I'm thinking like I'm feeling that the door is open in the back. So let me just go close the door. That's what I was thinking. I was feeling because someone was leading me back there. And lo and behold, when I'm walking towards the door, it's slightly open. So I'm like, yeah, maybe that's what it is, right? So mind you, when I go to the back door, like I had to go upstairs, I had to go back downstairs, and then the back door is like a downstairs, and you go around, and you go outside or you go down to the house downstairs. But it's like a two-way floor, right? Go down level floor, you outside. Then you go around that corner, you go down some more, you down in the house downstairs. But as soon as you open the back door, to your left is a hallway. It's like a closet. Like, you open the door to your left, you can hang coats right here before you come in the house. And it's like a little rack under there where your shoes could go, whatever, whatever. And then on the right side is the wall that's go down around to the outside door, then around to the downstairs door. The door was already open to the upstairs back door when I walked up to it. And then I opened it a little bit more just to look out down to see if the ground floor door was closed, basically the outside back door. So can't nobody come in and go upstairs or go downstairs. Plus it's like a screen door too. It's a screen than a regular door. The door was closed, the screen door was closed, and I think the back door was cracked open. I don't really remember. Once I noticed that the screen door was closed, because I didn't look around, I just walked over there, pulled the door open a little wider to check, and I looked, and I guess it was closed because it didn't. I didn't go inside that little hall area. I just looked, and I'm like, all right, I guess it's closed. But as I was drawing my attention back to getting ready to close this door that's in my hand, mind you, like the wall right here where the closet at, where the coats and stuff, it's not like a closet. It's just like you walk upstairs, this little coat rack. Maybe you could buy it from the dollar store, right? A little rack where you just hang your coats up and you can put your shoes under that. You can even roll the rack to this side if it make more sense, but it'll be right in front of the door. So it's on this side. It's just a wall. Two walls is a hallway. But on this side, since there's a little more space, those are where the coats are at on this little rack thing. And it's like a little shelf up above. It's like a hallway, but no door, kind of like. But it's no. So let me show you. Like I'm looking. I open the door and you can see a side right here and a side right here. But this side is the wall and it goes down to another wall. And then to the left of that wall is a door that goes outside. And on that little platform, go around just a little bit more to go downstairs. And if you was to coming upstairs, you'll look up, it'd be a wall. It'd be basically like a wall. Then until you come around, you look, you see coats right there, type shit. So once I realized the door downstairs is closed, I'm like, I don't know why I came here though. Everything good. So before I could even get that thought out of my head, and like before I could even come to a complete thought, it was like my attention was coming, like it just like some told me to look at it, and I looked at it, and it was just sitting right there, like it was just sitting there, like we sitting to each other, right? But it was off to the side like this, and it's just sitting there looking like this. Then it was like I was like, what the fuck? And then I seen the eyes, and I'm looking like, yeah, close the door. Cause I was like, I can't believe that. Like, damn, there's something sitting right there. I didn't even know. I just thought the door was open. I was gonna go down there and close the door, but now I don't even want to go in the hall area because something's sitting right there for whatever reason, just chilling in that hallway in that little space. Everything on my body stood up. All of my hairs got the chills instantly. I'm like, I know I'm not seeing what I'm thinking I'm seeing. Because if you didn't really look closely, you'll think like, oh, these are a bunch of coats, and maybe the coat shaped like a person sitting down. But when they turn their head with the eyes, and you like this shadow got like, you know what I'm saying? Because it was like, in winter time when it started getting dark, it's not that dark outside, and right before it get dark, it's still light outside. So it was like around that time, like the light from outside illuminating that hallway. Plus, there's a window right here out in a kitchen. So the back area of the house is a kitchen that leads to outside. In the back of the house, there's windows right there for the light to come inside the kitchen. And like I say, it's like, it's not that dark outside to where, um, plus on the back door, it's like a little glass, like, those, it's like a bottom part and then an oval go around. It got like those nice little glasses, windows or whatever, you can see through it. So it is light coming through there as well. Plus the door was already cracked, so the light from in the kitchen shining in this little hallway. And then I'm thinking like, I know it's a whole bunch of coats right here. I'm not expecting to see anybody sitting right here or nothing right there. Just I thought that was a bunch of coats. And then I was like, it's kind of like if you open the refrigerator door, right? You see what's sitting on the racks, but before you close it, you kind of glimpse to the side a little bit on what's maybe in the doorway, kind of like that. So that's how I was as a quick glance. Like I'm pull the door open a little bit more, look down the stairs to see around a little bit. If that bottom door is closed, and right before I'm gonna close this, my attention catches this shadow figure sitting by the coast, sitting on a little. It's like a little ledge. You can put your shoes on, and you can put your shoes under there. It's like a little bench in the hallway, or whatever, right? That goes to a little gate that looks over to the bottom downstairs. And then I was like, uh, I never really told nobody, but I went in my uncle in the room and I laid down in the covers because I was like, man, it's crazy. Then they come in there, I was kind of scared. I was like, damn, who is that? And they was like, why you acting like you scared or whatever? We finna go, whatever. Woo, woo. And I was happy. I got up out of there quick. I was like, yeah, we going home. We leaving here. And it was like something got into one of my uncles because he started tripping. He started going crazy. And I was like, I never seen him act like that before. But whatever. My little sister was like, he got a demon in him. I was like, maybe. She was more spiritual in tune. Even as my younger sister, she had a personal relationship with God. My sister Angela, rest in peace. This girl right here on my shirt. This is who I made Team Angie about in honor of. This is my late great sister Angela, Team Angie. She was the one who saw it. She was like, "Something must be in him, whatever." I didn't think too much about it. I wasn't really that spiritual back then. I didn't care too much about it like that. But I was having a lot of experiences where, I should have been more spiritual, but I wasn't. Like, whatever, right? I'm already going through enough. I don't care. But I did. And when I did. So I was like, damn, dude, I can't believe this shit happened to me. But before that, I was already having night terrors. So I was kind of like, this is not that. This thing. It's scary, nevertheless, to see, but it wasn't on attack mode. It didn't make me feel like it was trying to do anything or it wanted to do anything. It was just like, you see me here? I was like, yeah, but nah. I was like, nah, I'm good, dog. If y'all ever had a experience like that, let me know, like of shadow people. I didn't know they existed. I didn't ever know anything about that. There's other things in this world that I'm pretty sure I don't have any clue of, but that's why I like that type of stuff. I watch this creepy videos, the scary stuff at night or the day. Whenever I could get some of it, whoever got some of it, I like to watch it and check it out. It's entertaining to me. As long as I don't got to deal with it personally, like I have. That was it was a scary experience, but it wasn't as frightening as night terrors or as like witches. I've seen witches they came up with me. One of them in particular, I knew growing up. I hate to say her name because usually when I do this, she knows and she don't like it. But um, when I was young, like grade school young, we had computer classes, right? We learned how to type. I still know how to type without really looking. Not saying that I'm fast or anything, but whatever, right? We took computer classes. We used to go to the computer lab. It's a little dark in there, of course, right? Not dark, dark, but the lights are down, and we're in there. And next to me was this girl. She was my home girl, and she's like, "Can I tell you something?" Because people love to tell me stuff. They tell me secrets, and your secrets are safe for me. I'm not gonna say her name, but anyway, she was like, "I'm gonna miss you because we leave." And I'm like, "Damn, where y'all going?" She was like, "My mom." Um, she was like, "Don't tell nobody, but my grandma do spells and stuff." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, it's kind of scary. Things be floating around in the kitchen, and a lot of stuff be going on." She teaching me and my mom, and it be. She was scared when she was telling me, but she was scaring me at the same time while she was telling me. But I didn't want her to seem like I was afraid, and because when she first told me that, I was like, "Damn, this girl a witch." I'm like, I hope she don't do no stuff on me because I don't know if I'm nice to her or not. At this point, I gotta really think, and that's what I was thinking about while she was telling me. But long story short, we cool. I never really did anything to her like that. I wasn't really mischievous like that, but I am, and I have been to people, but not to her. And that's what I was thinking about. I was like, damn, everything started rushing through my mind right away because I'm like, I watched Casper, I watched Sabrina, but that's cartoons. I didn't really think that this stuff was, probably possibly real. And I'm like, probably 12 years old, maybe a little younger. And I was like, damn, this stuff for real. Uh, I think I was 10 actually, because she was gonna leave before her 13th birthday or her 12th birthday, and she was like, "We're gonna go to this school so I can finish learning or whatever." And I was like, "Damn, I'm gonna miss you though." And she gave me a hug or whatever, and she was like, "Yeah, whatever." Woo, woo. So I never seen her again until years later. While I was like, for some reason, I got to talking about it. I got to talking about her. I don't know if I even said her name or not. I don't know, to be honest. I believe I did, but I didn't say it. Just to be honest, like maybe I said her name and I was talking about this situation, or maybe I was just talking about it and it was like too close to home to whoever I was talking about it to, and they probably could have knew who she was. But anyway, and this when I was practicing Buddhism as well, because my sister had passed and I was like angry with God and my heart was turned cold. So people was like, God bless you, and woo, 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 and I just didn't want to hear that at all. It was like angry in my spirit. And one Christmas I was laying on the ground angry. My sister had just passed. And I felt the devil pulling me down into hell. Like I was stuck on the floor. I was laying down and I just felt like the floor opened up. And I'm being pulled down. It's hard. I had to get up hard as I can, like a magnet. You got to pull it real hard apart. I was open to being possessed, I guess, because right after that, I got up. I'm like, what the fuck? I never felt it. I felt it before, but this was the first time feeling that, being pulled through the floor. And I'm looking like, what the hell? Like, as soon as I finally got free, I was like, let me go outside get some air because this is crazy. Like, I'm already dealing with death close. There's stuff going on in the house. I'm scared, and now the devil is pulling me through the floor to hell. And I'm like, damn, it's too much. Uh, go outside, I see a big ass heart in the sky in the clouds, and it just made me cry. I'm like, damn, man, it's my sister gone, and she's saying it's all love. And then uh, my heart grew a little bit harder at that time. Like I really disliked Christmas, and that was my journey of basically denouncing the holidays. I stopped celebrating Christmas. I stopped celebrating everything, which was a disservice to my son. Like he probably like my dad don't celebrate none of this stuff, or they don't probably even believe in it, which he'd be true to say so because my heart was broken and torn, and I was doing the same to other people. Hurt people, hurt people. So I was like basically stopping people from celebrating Christmas and even from worshiping God. Like I didn't want to hear it. It is what it is, right? I don't feel proud of this part of my life, but it is what it is. But nevertheless, right after that, I ended up moving away for a while. I got into Buddhism. I moved out of state for a fresh start, and it was cool. It seemed cool, but I was still empty inside. And I guess I started. This is when I talked about this girl I know that was a witch. Later on that night, she came to me. She came kind of like a night terror, but I'm used to night terrors at this time, so I'm kind of knowing what's gonna go down. I know the drill. Uh, it happened like it happened any other time. Breathing, slowing down. I can't control my breathing. I'm I'm starting to panic a little bit. But before I can even panic, now I can't move. Now I'm locked. I can't talk. Man, um, just can't move, can't breathe, can't talk. And now I'm being squeezed really, really tight. And I feel this presence to my left. And I look, it's this girl with a hat, a veil over her eyes, all black. And she just looking like, oh, I beat your ass right now. She was looking really, really mad. And it was her. I'm like, damn. I was like, don't, I basically tried to talk my shit to her. I was like, if you do something to me, I'm going to scream. She just slid up on me like that real close. And then she was like, gripped her, tightened her grip, I'll say. So now I'm like really squeezed, can't breathe. I'm trying to get something out. And I guess I was mumbling something because people came in, they like, "You good? We hear you mumbling something like, whatever, whatever type shit." I'm, nah, nah. There was somebody here, whatever. Well, I'm trying to tell them they didn't believe it, whatever, right? I know what I know what I just experienced. I know what just happened, and they was like, maybe you. People always say this, like maybe you need to be prayed for, or you need to pray, or whatever, right? Like whatever. Sometimes this stuff, prayer ain't gonna stop it. Prayer can't help it. You got to just call Jesus. Like, can you come down here and deal with this situation? And that be that. Unless you know any kind of other things to do, but it's some stuff you don't really want to play with. Basically, like with that type of stuff, with them type of people. Um, I had experience with her twice. Not her per se, but her and another chick like her, another witch. This one I knew, but she was basically mad because she was like, "I told you don't tell nobody and leave that at that." So I knew what that was about, and that was like the main time that one of them came to me like that on some old, yeah, I'm trying to do something to you type shit. But I like these type of things. This what they talking about on buddy situation is about in the future. You basically have no judge or jury. You have no type of court system. You got strictly AI giving you a point system, and if you go below your point system, then you out of there. You terminated. And I'm like, that's kind of crazy because that's what some countries doing low key right now. They going off point systems. If you uh like if you steal or if you it's I don't even know how to explain it, dog. It's so out of this world type shit. If your score ain't good enough, you can't purchase certain things. You can't have certain time on the TV or social media or whatever, right? I don't know what are the rules to this social monitoring, social credit score, I guess it's called. Let me ask my consultant who all doing this weird shit and where it's going on there, because I already know for a fact. I'm not participating, but I mean, if they usher it in, now they talk about get help from by sharing what you see in your browser, whatever, whatever. What up? Indeed. What do you know about social credit scores and what countries are have implemented this already? They saying that they giving up too information. Usually, when they get to sharing too much, they cut them off. They're like, "Who want to know about what we doing over here?" Which is whack, and that's what they doing over here. YouTube, TikTok, all this social media, they monitoring our situation. They don't want you talking about it, sharing certain information, because they got control. It's control freaks, spyware, all this type of secret stuff going on to keep control over people to see what people doing. But anyway, China the one who got that stuff going on. They also the ones who successfully have. They did some type of robot DNA fusion to a baby. Let me see. I forget. They successfully just did something like that. They got some weird shit going on, dog. They like this movie I've been watching, The Continuum. All this futuristic stuff going on. These motherfuckers over there doing this stuff. Like these movies that came out in 2015. This shit was really going on in 2015. They like, oh, it's just a movie. No, not to me, it's not. Like I told my dad, with these sci-fi movies and the tech that they got, like, dog, they been got that stuff. They using that stuff right now to this day. He's like, I think we had a debate about it. I like debating with my dad. He thinks way different. But he's like, I don't know if he agreed or not. He's like, man, you don't know what they. He's like, I forgot what he said, but we had a nice discussion about that. Now, I would use one of these to clean my house. You could clean my house, go wash my car. You could fucking grow my garden from. You could do a lot of shit for me, dog. For real, for real. I'll use one of these. But if it start acting up, then hey, look at this. This is my shit. Open book October. But y'all want to watch my video right now? Let me show you this. I got it. I have to go grab it, but this is another picture I painted. I'm about to really get busy. I got a whole bunch of canvases. One I've been working on trying some new art. I'm trying 3D art nowadays. I'm really upping my level, upping the game. This isn't finished. I don't like it. I let it sit out. I'm gonna paint over it and redo it. But yeah, I love my art. I ain't nothing about what they did because they ain't gonna show it either. And plus, I ain't put it. Maybe this is it. They talk about they doing everything. They just like the fallen angels did when they came down here. They start getting into too much, way too much. They out here doing too much stuff that ain't supposed to be being done. I understand people have struggles. They want to have families. They want to have companionship. But at this point, what is enough? A robot baby dog? I couldn't have one of these motherfuckers in my crib, just to be honest. Like, I don't trust you. I don't. I don't. I can't have one of those. I mean, what I'm watching now is like something like this. They putting chips in these people. They damn near robots. I really want to show y'all a clip. They might cut it off. They might not. I really encourage y'all to watch this TV show though. This gonna open your eyes to a lot of stuff going on today in this world, and it's gonna really make you think about 2012, what that whole shebang was about, because it was a big ordeal when I lived through, and ever since then they talking about the Mandela effect. Like that was never a thing until 2012. The Bearstein Bears, we read that book growing up. The changing of the spelling was a new thing. We all knew what we saw when we grew up reading and watching the cartoon. Just like Looney Tunes, the spelling of that changed. Fruit Loops. It's like, what else is just happening right underneath our nose? You know, to make us seem like we don't remember the reality that we live. It's questionable. It's up for debate because some people came around 2012. They wasn't alive prior to 12 years. The prior generation of 2000s. They might have been 2 years old when this generation started. So of course they don't know anything about the Bearstein Bears or Fruit Loops or all of these things, right? My favorite show on Chicago PD and Chicago Fire. I love these shows. I've been watching this show called The Continuum though, because it's so good. It's about a cop, right? She from the year 2077. They got all this high tech stuff going on. Like right now, they got all this high tech stuff going on. They trying to basically digitalize the world, technologize the world. Everything is technology nowadays. This is what they're trying to do, and this is what they're eventually going to do. What they was putting out these movies like I Robot. One more familiar you guys might have seen with all of this new tech they have, and other movies which I can't think of right now, but like Back to the Future, right? Prime example. That movie was out probably way before these two movies that I'm talking about. But nevertheless, he had some futuristic stuff way back then. This wasn't just no movie. These, of course, they have props. Now let me not neglect props, right? They use props. The shoes on Yellow Brick Road, what was that? The Wizard of Oz. Those shoes were props. And those shoes sold for like $48 million. The Batmobile was a prop. I'm not sure if you could drive it around or whatever, but I'm pretty sure you probably can. Items like that are sold off to the public because they're not exclusive as the the Bat Belt, the gadgets he had with Superman, and all of this stuff, right? Basically, certain things for the public to cycle around, and certain things you never see outside of a movie. Maybe not. I don't know. But this TV show I'm talking about, this cop from the year 2077, she. So let me give you a little background. In the year 2077, from what I understand, there's not a lot of murders because of the tech is so good. They basically reenact the thing that happened, reenact the dramatization of the situation, figure out everything right then and there. So in the year 2077, there's not a lot of murders, but nevertheless, stuff still happens no matter what because the negative energy is real. When you in negativity, you do negative things like murder, different forms of violence, different type of uh, corruption, right? Lying, stealing, whatever. So I'm not sure when these people did whatever they did, but it was a group of people at this point being executed. They were on their way to be executed for their crimes. They called these people terrorists. My coin tracker just went up. So I got cryptos on different wallets, and I got one wallet that tracks all wallets. And that wallet was just telling you like overall my profiles are going up, my money is rising, and my cryptos. Like the one I just showed y'all, Robinhood, I got stocks on there now. I took all the cryptos off of that, but I left the cryptos that I had on those other platforms, which is the ADA, two game tokens, and some Ethereum, whatever, right? But anyway, so they on their way to be unalive, death row. Now, when this is about to happen, this lady cop that I'm talking about, she was there. It was like, I want to say a good 8 people, maybe eight, that was going to be executed. They all in front of this little, I guess, I don't know what to call it. It's like a little energy, electricity, the stance or whatever. It's like a little circle and it goes down and everybody's standing around it. And I guess they were supposed to put their hands on it or I don't know. I guess it's going to. So they're inside of this room. Inside of this room, they're on top of this podium type of thing. And in the middle of this podium is like a little electrical stick or whatever. Electrical pole. It's not that big. It's like from the ground to their under their chest type. They could reach down and hold on to it. It's like a little rail all around or whatever. So they are standing around this thing. They getting ready to pull the lever or whatever. However they finna do it. They finna get ready to do the thing, right? So right before they do it, some guy yelling like, "Hey, they got something in their hands." And they all 8 of them, I believe it was 8. They had like a piece of this time travel device, and they all threw it on that electricity thing to charge it up. And as soon as they all did that, a big flash came, and they all was going back to the year 2012, including the lady officer because she tried to run up and grab what they had in their hands for whatever reason, but she didn't know that they was finna go time travel, and she ended up going back with them. And when she get back there with them, she's still on her cop duties. She's trying to hunt them down and bring them to justice, even though they're 65 years in the past. So that's what's going on, whatever, right? She trying to get home. They trying to do whatever they do and get home at the same time. I'm not sure if they're trying to get. Well, I don't know. I believe they is because a few times they get back to the past. They do what they do really quick. They had a goal. Basically, they knew what they was doing. They came, they did it, and they was finna get ready to go. But she keep popping up, and she keep on, on that case. And I guess they didn't have enough energy for her to go as well. So she, on one of the scenes, she right there with them. She got one of their people's hostage, and she like, we all finna go together or whatever. Like, let the dude, because it was a scientist dude from back in the day who had a energy source where they could use to power up to be. So that's the thing, right? And it made me think about Elon Musk a lot, especially with that little power plant they got in Tennessee. They say it's to make AI, but now I'm thinking it's to do something different. Every movie I've seen had this one key element as far as time travel, right? They need electricity. They need electricity, some type of power, right? Whether it's a movie or not, I believe that they know for a fact you need electricity to really spark a change like that. Because if it wasn't, it'd be something different every time, right? But this for entertainment purposes. And also, this wasn't their first attempt to try to get back home. Either way it go, right? The dude had something that they needed to use as far as the power grid, and they was gonna take him with him. Basically, they, keep him quiet or whatever they was gonna do with him. Probably just toss him in a different year somewhere and leave him there type shit. I don't know. But the lady, the cop lady, when she came, she shut all that down. She made him go, and she told them to take her with them or whatever, and it didn't work. They all blew up. They didn't die though. There was like a little mini explosion, pushed everybody back, knocked stuff down. Uh, the main thing though is the elites. Like, of course, these movies act like regular scientists, regular smart people with who knows how they get all of this money to buy all of this tech and what type of tech they know that they need or whatever, right? Just like crypto. You can make crypto yourself if you have enough electricity to mine these stuff. And people do this, they use it as corruption all the time. In the Vietnamese, they just got caught using an old folks' home, running up their electricity to mine Bitcoin. Why these people are, not in a nice living situation because their power is being used all the way up. They got caught. Let me, I'll play it down here. Y'all can check it out. Well, let me just ask my AI real quick. She might know the news, might be able to spill the beans. Likewise. What do you know about the latest cryptocurrency mining that got caught illegally? This is not about the page. Who got caught mining cryptocurrency illegally in another country? So I could be wrong about the location, but they showed me on my Bitcoin news. They let me know what's going on. I guess she just telling us where it's happening at the most, which I don't doubt it. I don't know, right? People use energy and crypto is basically like dead man's wallet. What I just found out about like crypto, right? Crypto. It's basically like, how can I put this? Like, man, I don't even know how to say this. If a billionaire passed away, right? Somebody hacked into their wallet, somebody hacked into their funds and start rotating it. That's basically what crypto is. they did this. Dang, let me see if I can pull it up because I learned this a long time ago, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. This is demonic. They gonna put something different on it. They always do this, but once you hear the truth, you'll never forget it. It just makes sense, right? They say the meaning. I'm looking for the definition. The software gathers fluctuations of the market and prices of all cryptos. If you want to make a considerable profit, you will have to conduct in-depth research on crypto. Cryptography. A person having a secret alliance to political creed, especially communism. Informal data. Oops. Let me look up the definition. So crypto, a person who adheres or belongs secretly to a party. He explained the theory that Christopher Columbus is a crypto or hidden Jew, covered, hidden by dissembling, unavowed, hidden, right? They say Nvidia itself is worth more than 4 trillion. That's crazy. $4 trillion. They be hitting people up, dog. Like they ain't gonna really say it on here because they don't want people to be like, oh, it's something other going on. Let's look at the nearby words: cryptoid, crypto, cursing, radius, cursing, speed, altitude, cool, crumbly or crumbling, structure, crewman. Yeah, that's norm. Let me do definition. I hear if you do this, they give you more in depth. Of course, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency, so they're gonna usually talk about Bitcoin. Let me see if I can get a video. So they're gonna say a little bit. The more you kind of tweak it and play with it, a dead money in the text of cryptocurrency refers to a cryptocurrency that has lost all significant value and utility, often due to abandonment by developers or lack community support. They're not gonna go into it. They don't want to. A dead coin is a cryptocurrency that has ceased to operate. Abandoned or significantly lost value. They're not gonna say it, dog. But these guys, let me see if I can pull up the video information out there. They That's why I like conspiracy theories because they know how to do research. It's not saying that I don't know how, but they pay for certain softwares and certain government software to get certain information. You can go to your library, but they ain't gonna have everything. This was 2 weeks ago. They talk about dead money, like man, this reefer smell good. I'm ready to flame up. I want to see what this talking about really quick. We finna end this video. Now I heard a trade ogre. That's overseas where they get their cryptos, and they've been in the news. They got their hands in so much stuff. They got so many millions of dollars, and they just keep getting caught. So it's like they got to be tied in with other countries and other entities because the this is my opinion. What I think. Usually, this is why people tell, and this is my reason. What I think. It's cool to do your dirt until somebody get caught. It's cool to do your dirt until somebody gets greedy, right? And I believe that's what's happening. Somebody got caught, so now that person's telling on everybody else. And or somebody was getting greedy, they started skimming a little more than they were supposed to, and they got cut off. And now they want to tell that these stuff is going on. Either or, I'm pretty sure that they all know what's happening. It's just that they're going to keep it going on. Because $53 million is not a whole lot compared to the trillions that they have flowing through this crypto. Like I just showed y'all, they got $4 trillion. Uh, Not this company, but another company. They got the money, right? They a couple million ain't hurting them at all. How convenient, right? And my point exactly, crypto, 53 million from the owner, who I believe they was running his money through that system until they got caught. They looked him up and they, well, he's been dead already, so what do we do but keep the money seized? And another way they could have got caught, which I think they just got caught, is because you running through this man's wallet, and then if he was getting payments from somebody, maybe a government or whatever, right? They start to notice like this man is not replying or whatever. Maybe we could do a wellness check. You do the wellness check, they find out he's gone, and then they do the investigation, find out this money is coming from overseas back and forth to Canada. Let's see if they find out if this man has been passed away or what, because they say no charges being brought up, right? How convenient. And how convenient for this money just to get took, right? And what an interesting way, right, for the government to come up. I mean, to me, it's just interesting. Like, we get a few millionaires over here, they pass away all the time, or people are unalive. And how convenient for that to happen to where they gone now, you could run their money through the cryptocurrency exchange and make a nice little come up. Especially you got whales, meaning people who have majority of the coins, who could affect the market buy in or if they sell out. Like a whale is basically a person who have majority of the coins, and if they sell, meaning like if I'm in the beginning stages before they grow, and I buy a majority of them, so I buy like 100,000 at $2. Now they up to like $100. I'm not gonna sit here and play the math, but you know it's a decent little profit. So people start buying in at $200 because they're like, man, this stuff going up, just kinda like with Bitcoin. Now all of a sudden, my 200 profit then went up because the price then went up from 200 to now 2,000. So I didn't like doubled up 4 times by now. And if I decide to sell, majority of all of the money that just came in my pocket because I bought in when the coins were so low, and now they're up so high and people don't want to buy. So it's now like the people who just got in, if I don't buy back in, then they're just stuck at that. They stuck not even making profit unless some other sharks come in and they buy in at that price and they raise the scale up some more. And then they you know what I'm saying? They buy out. I mean, they sell out. And this is easy to do, right? Like it's a lot of new coins coming out like Ethereum, right? Solana. And a lot of these companies are taking money out of Bitcoin and they're buying Ethereum, whatever. And that's because like the Bitcoin that went up so much, they done made a nice profit. Now they're taking all that money and doing the same thing again, but with a lesser coin, which is Ethereum. These tell you that right here. It's it's Ethereum now. And the Ethereum is only like $2,000, $3,000. Well, it's 3,000. Now it went up to four. It's back down to like three ish. So I mean, like that's a decent price for millionaires, right? Especially just made millions and millions off of Bitcoin. So now not spend a couple of those millions into Ethereum. Do the same thing. The price up as high as it can go to where the public base canceled out because they don't have these millions to buy in. Just like you'll think like Bitcoin, 120 some $1,000. Who buying them? The millionaires. They buying them by the millions because they have billions and trillions of dollars. But anyway, right? Like back to my point, why this stuff going on, it's like you can't get in there because the rich is already in it and they making all this money. Unless you do what they're doing, which is use the dead man's wallet and put it all up in here, make a nice little profit and then send it back overseas or something like that. Like they was doing because they said the dude was from America, right? But they doing this stuff over there. Low key, they just took a man's American wallet, sent all this money over to Canada, got caught, and now they was trying to scramble it around, until their money got seized. But I'm pretty sure they was taking a little bit at a time and pushing them in different venues and areas, because everybody who does this type of stuff is not dumb to let all their money get locked up in one wallet, right? As I was showing you, I don't have a whole lot of that, but I have multiple wallets securing multiple accounts. So it's like, and I trade off different exchanges. So if one exchange ever gets liquidated, of course you're going to miss out because that money's gone. But the money that's in your wallet is still there if you have different wallets and you trade on different ledgers or platforms, not ledgers, but exchanges. You go to a currency exchange to deal with money with cash currency. You go to uh, a different trader platform to trade different cryptocurrencies, if it makes sense, right? So it's like we playing with dead man money because American dollars is already dying out. It's not worth much. But it's just something to think about, though. It's like it's been on my mind lately, like what's really going on in the world, and how cryptic it is, how secrecy it is, and for how these people that have money, they're stealing from the dead, which is very, very sad. We just watched a video about Nepal. A lot of those people who weren't working with the government, and it happens here in the States, you might have a wealthy grandmother, and I hate to go that route, but it is what it is, right? Let the truth be known. Our ancestors, we didn't get no reparations. We didn't get no type of handouts. We didn't get no type of uplifting to get on our feet. Like they do with people. They get them like $20,000 to property. They get housed, and they get them everything they need to get on their feet and stay. It's not right. They always talk about ISIS over here cleaning up. If I go somewhere and I need help, I should get that, no matter if I'm a foreigner or not. Which I don't care about them getting the resources. What I do care about though is them not sharing the resources with the people here that's needing it. And that's what happened with Nepal, right? They like, why is y'all giving away our resources to the people that don't need it? Not saying that the people here that's getting it don't need it or whatever, but you know how people use the system, whatever, right? They got tired of it. They did something about it. Here in America, whenever we really, really get tired of it, we might do something about it. Who knows? But this is what's going on in the world under the God that we serve, do what thou will type God is what they tell us, because they're definitely out here doing whatever. And it's so in our faces. Like, if the signs and symbols are for the conscious mind, if you're not going on, you don't really know what signs and symbols to look for. You'll never see these things coming, you'll never see these things happening. I just wanted to share because I'm like, well, I'm gonna watch some more of these videos and some more research and share what I know with you all, because it's a lot of distractions going on, but it's a lot of people becoming wealthy overnight and throughout these struggling times. Let me show y'all what they doing with the markets, right? How they playing with this crypto and with the exchanges. Hold on, let me see if I can put it back. I don't really think I can. Uh, it's crazy, dog. Like, it's crazy what's going on, but you have them up. Let me just do this one real quick. Then I'll show y'all these markets what's making moves. Because the crypto is trying to come up, but it's another way for them to buy the sharks. Like they get their profits, and then once the prices drop because everybody didn't profit when they're gonna start buying back in and do it again, just like they did right before October 10th, that weekend before the 13th, right? Everything was going up. They was buying in, buying in. And then all of a sudden they hurried up and took the money out. And then what was so cool about that was could nobody do anything about it, especially if you had stocks. You couldn't cash out your stocks over the weekend because the stock's not open over the weekend. You'll have to wait till yesterday, which was Monday, but the banks was closed yesterday due to a holiday, national holiday. So it's like Friday, soon as the markets dropped, Trump hit that announcement like, yeah, we finna fuck it up with y'all over there in China. They take their money out. Everybody taking their money out. The people losing out on their money because they can't take their money out of the stocks, especially over the weekend. And also, once Monday finally hit, the banks closed, so they was like stuck with their money being took because the markets are crashing over those 4 days. So that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and now today finally people got a chance to either put money back in because that's what they do when the markets crash. They buy in, even though they might have been taking a loss for whatever how much they lost. They'll buy in because it's a smart thing to do. You know, you get more of what you have at a cheaper price. Say for instance, you bought a company, 2 shares of a company, right? That company share is worth $20. But over the weekend, so you got $40 worth of that one company. Over the weekend, it goes down $10. So now you just lost $20. Now you back at the 40 that you started off with. No, no, no. Now you down $20. I meant to say. You spent 40. Now you down 20. And if it just so happened to go down a little bit more on that Monday, then you're down just a little bit more of your $40. And come Tuesday, which is today, depending on where the price is, you just that money gone. You'll have to either buy in to hopefully you have more. So when the profit go up, you have more profit, or you miss out on that, and those people want to go spend money. It's a cruel, dirty game. That's why I was like, we need to keep these stocks because you see what happened with all of the cryptos, majority all of them. But look at the stocks that we bought in where they haven't been touched, and they're still in profit and they're going. But these are like technology stocks, like energy and AI. So who's not using energy around this time? Throughout the whole year, people use energy for especially the winter time and the summertime. AC's running like a motherfucker, the heat's running like a motherfucker. During the spring, during the fall, people are in the internet shopping for winter and whatever, right? They using energy. Now AI, people use AI for everything nowadays. AI isn't going anywhere. It's just getting more and more advanced and developing more and more. So why not grow with AI? I mean, since 2015, they've been showing movies of all this technology, so you know it's coming, right? It's just when. So it's like you can't lose with these companies. And I've seen one at 14 go up over the months to where it's like, I'll show you guys. This is why I do these IPOs, and this is another reason why I didn't sell out because I lose my access for 60 days to mine these IPOs, which drop exclusively. You could buy in before anybody else can. Like right now, they haven't dropped anymore. They dropped two the first week and second week of October, which was October the 1st and October the 9th. And if they drop any more, they'll let me know before they drop, which probably be like October the 21st or something. These are the latest three that they just dropped. This one was the one that I bought in September the 19th at $14, and we only up like 32 cents. But let me show you the ones that's like now these two dropped in October. This one, which is one that I got now, which was at $21 and it's now $30. So it's like $10 profit. But I bought in a little late because I missed my move. You got to take action to be a part of it. And then this one, I just didn't have enough because I cashed out when I seen what was going on. And they've been between like 36, 42. They still in profit, but I don't know what's gonna happen with this company. I was really, really counting on this one, but I didn't do it. And I'm kind of happy I didn't because this is at $36, about 32. The other company is almost at this price, and they was only starting off at 21, which is this company here. They at 30.15. Let's check them out. So for like $30, you could get one 30.23. Guess they went up a little couple more. But since they dropped 1 month ago, not even a month ago, they've been on an uphill battle. Well, that's October the 8th. We can go back a month. Since they dropped on October the 1st at $21, they just been up. And they just up. Make shit a little higher. So October the 2nd, they reached $32.94. So basically $33. $11 in the second day. Which was October the 1st, actually. That same day they went up $11.94. So they trying to catch their thing back. The past month they up $9.16. If they go up $9 a month, that's 10 next month, 10 the next month. That'd be a $20 profit. Let me go back to the ones that's like at 20. Like you could see what I was talking about as far as like the $20 ones. Let's see, like this one. No, it was at 46. I got some. Let me go to my list. It was I think it's cryptos to watch. Not cryptos. It might be. I don't know. I forgot. I just seen one. Yeah, these ain't all the cryptos. Like Litcoin, PayPal going up like a month. Let's check out PayPal. Because this is a company that I really want to get with, which I should have. But this is going to be a company that's going to really grow. Like, you see what they doing. They on steroids. They is not playing around. $34. Let me go back 1 year. They've been on a fucking rise. They started at like $31. 34. They just dropped in 2020 at like $28. They up $8.95 since October 13, 2023. They just been growing. I didn't even know that they went public. Let me see when they go public. It don't show. Maybe that's when they went public. Let me see. They went up to $37.96 within 1 year. So that was their high, $37.96. So they reached their all-time. No, they're not yet. They're about to reach their all-time high in like 10 more cents. 37.92, I believe, or let me see. 37.96. Okay. So 7 more cents, they're being reached their all-time high. And they might do that within this year, past their all-time high. This is not a company I was talking about, but it's one similar to this where they started off just not recently. Not long ago, I mean. This is another crypto I want to get. These the ones that pay monthly dividends. Like if you want to buy something, just let it sit or whatever. These would be the ones that you want to do that with. This one like $13, which I should have bought this one, which I still might do. And on the 19th, I might switch stocks. I might just whatever profit I got or don't got, I'm going to cash it out and buy this because this pays every month on the month at 2% dividend yield. They're high 38. So I could buy in with them and just keep on cashing out every month until it finds 14.38 and sell out with the little extras I get. Let's go back 3 months. Been on a good run for the past 3 months. Been profiting every month 2 times with them. August 7th, 2025 would have been a good day to buy in with this supergroup. Let me take a picture of them. Well, I got them on my list. I need to start checking my list. Because this would have been a good investment. Spend $20, you would have came up $6 by now. Well, $4 if you cashed out on October the 3rd. No, you would have came up on $8. If you bought two at 10, then on the 3rd, you would have cashed out $8. Plus, what was that? 11. So August, September, October, you would have cashed out $8 on top of probably like 40 more cents, depending on how much they paid in dividends at the time. So that's a nice little come up. The lowest they've been down to is $3.96. So they've hit a rock bottom before. So 2022 would have been a good year to buy with them. $4. Actually, no. Last year of August would have been the best day to buy in with them. 3, 6, 9, 12. So for $15, you could have bought 5 shares. So you would have came up a 20 something dollar profit. Plus of the change that you would have been making throughout the months of that year. That would have been a nice little come up and a nice little extra income tax. So yeah, this is a group. They're a little expensive now if you got $13, which I might just buy that one. I don't know. But they got cheaper ones. Like this one is $9. HL Alien PLC American whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna look it up real quick. But this what I be doing. I be checking the markets. Like when I'm out here listening to the conspiracy theories, getting a little information. It's like my news. Or hearing some good scary stories. I be on here looking at money making opportunities, like where to invest in. I always go back 3 months to a year. History usually repeats itself. We in a recession or government shutdown because that don't happen every year, all year. So there's been a decent one. They've been on a little move. They've been steady for 2023 to 24. Then they start making a move, some nice little moves. May. So yeah, this is a decent one. This is Halen PLC engages in provision of personal healthcare products. The firm focuses on consumer healthcare. So 2023 dropped to like 2022, and they made a decent little come up. 2022. I'm thinking that was around COVID, and then let me see, 22. These, let me be honest with you, since 2018 till like 23, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So for like 6 years, it's kind of blurry for me because I didn't want to remember a lot of stuff I had going on. I was on a run from the law. Um, just had a lot going on. I was living a rough lifestyle, and it was hard. I didn't really want to remember everything. So yeah, um, that's why I don't really remember because I've been in jail a few times as well. Not long stints, but it was just rough. Been to so first I was 2018. I was in a lot of different states and cities as well, but so I think in 2020 I got locked up. I got caught, and then I also caught another case at the same time, and I was sentenced to 2 years probation for my drug case, and I was sentenced to 3 months for my domestic case. I had a aggravated domestic strangulation or whatever, domestic battery. Um, I had got 3 months for that. So it's like as soon as I got sentenced in 20, let me see, 18. So I got sentenced in December 2020, right before Christmas, and I caught this new case January 2021 for the domestic, and was locked up until like April of that year of 23. Mind you, I was still on probation for, and this is what's crazy. I caught a case in Michigan in 2018 when my uncle passed away. I was distraught out of my mind. Wasn't really thinking right. Um, Went on the run instantly. 2 years later, I get caught in Illinois. I cut your case in Michigan. I get caught in Illinois. Um, they shipped me back to Michigan, but I was living in Illinois at the time, and our house was burnt down. So I really didn't have anywhere to go when I got sentenced. I told the judge, like, can I go back to where I was staying at because I don't have anywhere to go. And she was like, cool, that's cool. Well, my probation officer wasn't really going for that. He was like, nah. He basically like he didn't want it to happen because she was like, y'all got anything to say before we wrap this up? We did the Zoom call. I got sentenced over the Zoom in my living room. I had an HP laptop at the time, talking to the judge on the Zoom call for my sentencing. And she was like, "You got anything to say?" I was like, "Yeah, I need somewhere to stay because right now I'm homeless, and only place I got to go is in Illinois." She was like, I think she asked me like, "Is that where you at? Because you know you're not supposed to be out of state." And I was like, "Nah, but I need to get back there because I'm on the streets." She's like, "Cool, I don't want you to be homeless and out here fucking shit up. You got to do what you got to do. Go ahead, make sure you get with dude and whatever, get that emotion." She talked about my PO, and he trying to tell her like, "Nah, whatever." She like, "This already done deal." So this is December 22nd when I got sentenced. December 22nd, 2022. Wait, I think 20. December 22nd, 2020, or 2021. So I think it was like 21 or 20. So that's why I'm like, it was crazy, right? But anyway, if it was 2020, 2021 is when I caught this next case when I just got sentenced in 2020 for 2 years probation because I had already did some time when I was locked up, being sent from Illinois back to Michigan. It took a while for them to come get me, and they counted that time as well, plus the time that I was on the run and all of this and that, whatever. So, uh, soon as I get sentenced, I'm filling out my interstate compact paperwork so that I could leave the state and get my stuff transferred to Illinois. I catch this new case right the day before I was supposed to go see my PO. The day, no, 2 days before. It was either, I think it was 2 days before or the day before. But anyway, I call because I didn't have his number. I called my people. So I'm like, man, can you call my PO and tell him I'm locked up? Basically, I can't come see him. And basically, I was like, fuck him, because I'm locked up. He gonna find out anyway. Like, I'm supposed to see him in 2 days, and my bond is so high I can't get out. Uh, so I was just like, fuck it, right? It is what it is. Um, I pled guilty, did my 90 days, and plus I was on 2 years probation for that as well. But they ran that concurrent with my current case that I already had for Michigan, which they sent me 2 years probation for that. And they was like, well, you could just do those together. And I was like, cool. Did my time. I got out and I was on probation. I was doing anger management classes for 18 weeks every Monday. So I was still in the state of Illinois. I was kind of stuck there for a while when I got out. But when I got out, they was like, you got a warrant, right? Of across them lakes. So be careful when you go across them lakes because they want you. And I'm like, damn, why they didn't come get me tonight then? Because I was scared when I was getting out of jail that night. It was like, I didn't know if I was going to get transferred again from Illinois to Michigan and go do the rest of that time that I had for uh my drug case. I had caught with possession. So I'm like, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna even be released tonight. They let me go at like 2 in the morning. And plus, we was already locked down for 14 days because the COVID hit, and people in the jail was coming in sick, and they was in there getting sick, and it was bad. They put us on lockdown for 14 days. People in my little dorm was catching COVID, and it was bad. I was like, damn, like they need to be checking people from the outsides coming in because we've been in here for a while, and this is like once you process in the jail, you in your little section where you're gonna be at till you leave or whatever. Everybody who just coming in the jail, they like in the booking and the processing or whatever. And usually processing have different little areas for them. Like you're gonna get classified, you'll be there for a while until you get classified. Then they'll tell you where they're gonna put you, like as far as what dorms and stuff like that. Like what group of people you finna be with? Is you finna be with the group of people that's really bad and angry, or you finna be with the people that's just violent and kind of settled, mellowed down type? It's like that. Like every majority of people have violent cases and or drug cases. That's mainly the people come in. They'll put all them in one little pile. But majority of people who have the same cases but more extreme, they'll put them in a group together. So it's like you're gonna be with your group for a while, people coming in, people going, but you're gonna be where you at for a majority of the time. And people was coming in. They was coming in from being classified and from off the streets to the dorms where they was gonna be for a while, but they was coming in sick. And that shit was spreading like a forest fire. People was catching it. So the only thing they did was lock us in our room for 14 days. We got 1 hour out. Everybody in the pod got 1 hour out. For the whole day, it's just enough pods for everybody to get 1 hour. And that's how we did it for the 14 days. On my last day was the last day they was doing it until the next day everybody was able to be out free like we usually be doing. But I think they extended it one more day. But I was leaving the day before it was going to be over with anyway. But I was scared that night because I was like, damn, I was already thinking like I had a warrant, and they was probably finna come get me, and I was like, damn, I'm just scared to be free again because you do have those feelings as well. The first time I got out of jail and I didn't have anyone, so I was feeling the same way. Like, am I gonna be, am I gonna be good? Am I gonna be able to be free and stay free? Like those type of fears come to your mind, and they came and got me. Go downstairs and steady seeing the sheriff walk around thinking he finna lock me up as soon as I get outside. And it's me and one other guy. It's just us two. And he act like he didn't want to go home, like he didn't want to leave. I'm like, dude, come the fuck on because I'm nervous as hell, but I ain't finna tell you my business. The lady at the reception already told me, like, yeah, you good to leave here, but them people still want you in Michigan, so be careful or whatever. And I'm like, all right, whatever. Then I get outside, I'm still scared. I'm nervous, like, damn, anytime I get picked up, they probably gonna send me back. So as I do my little time in Illinois, Decatur, Illinois, months go by, I finish the program, and now you know how it is when you start over, whether you want to or whether you don't. That's where I was at in life, starting over, trying to find a new job, trying to fix my car, and do a lot of shit, with a little bit of funds. I had money when I went in, I had money when I came out, but I wasn't really making no money at this point. I'm just surviving off what I had saved, which was like a few $1,000s. And it was rough. Majority of my money went straight on my car. Fixing my car, sitting, being tore up, being rolled around, having fun and whatever, right? When I get out, I get my car back. I'm trying to fix my shit. I gotta get a new battery, new tire. Just a lot of different shit. It's like all my money was just going on this car because this was my way around. Even though I was doing my anger management classes on the Zoom, I still had to go look for work. I still had to, go out the house to go get food and do other things. And I was living by myself at the time. My girl, we were like, we just split up and I dropped her off. She moved away. So I was just trying to like manage this stuff on my own. It was like I was already kind of in jail. Like we separated. Like I ain't gonna do that. Then when I get out, it's another harsh reality. Like I'm gonna be by myself, and I was by myself for a few months. I was lonely at the time. It was low, bro. But at that time, I was finding myself, and I was like, making adjustments to my life, and that's what I've been doing ever since. Still doing. Not perfect, um, just accountable more so nowadays. But right after that, I started hustling. I mean, wasn't getting no jobs. It's hard once you become a felon. And this is my third felony within 2 years because I had just caught two more felonies within those two cases. The first one I was running from was a felony, and then the second one I caught was a felony. So it was like, fuck it. Now I just got three felonies. I already had one, which was hard, but the other two came back to back. And the only reason I really did it like that was because if I was to try to fight that case, I would have had 3 times. I would have been a 3-time offender for battery. I would have had 3 batteries, which would have been a felony anyway, and that would have been a repeater. I would have had three misdemeanor batteries. So I was like, instead of that going on my record as a repeater, as a batterer, I'll take the domestic, and we could just wrap that up into a new felony. And of course, there's other stuff I got that's already sealed and fake. That's a felony as well. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna just do what I got to do. So what was crazy about that, and just having God's grace and mercy, right? Because I'm knowing I'm doing wrong, but for a right reason, which isn't no excuse at all. God had His hands around me. I kept getting caught, not getting caught red-handed, but basically almost. I got pulled over 3 times. Thank God I didn't get caught with anything. I didn't go to jail, but the police in this area knew who I was, and they knew the other state was looking for me. Because every time they found me, they was like, "We got him. Y'all want him?" They'd be like, "Nah, we good." I was like, "What?" They let me go. So the police, like, they know who I am now. They just want to keep on some old all about the Benjamins type stuff. When Ice Cube kept chasing around Mike Epps, it was like that. Like, we know who you is now. We're gonna just keep on trying to get you until they might want you, and we could hold you in our jail type shit. It was like that. So I had to keep switching vehicles, switch where I stayed, a lot of shit, right? And when I finally just left all that shit alone, I come back to Michigan. One of my little brothers had a job for me. We do some painting, and I didn't want to go, but I felt like my time was up. I just knew it. And as soon as I get done, this is right before my son's birthday, 2023. Uh, I finally get locked up for the drug situation. October the 5th, 2023, on my son's birthday. I had just left Walmart, sending him a little money order or whatever. And then on the way home, the call, that's when I got locked up. I'm like, damn. Um, fuck. So July of 2018 was when I caught that first case, and it was finally over uh, October 23, October 5th of 2023. So that was like a 5-year thing from one case. Uh, yeah, it was like a 5-year ordeal from one case. When I finally got caught, October the 5th, 2023, I pled guilty to violation probation and leaving the state without permission. She was like, the state's attorney, they came to me because they had locked us all up. They had us all in a bullpen, all of the felons finna go with the sheriffs to the court. They finna drive us to the court or whatever. We basically all in there talking about. And what's crazy is like this. I'm in Michigan at this time, and right after I get out of work, send my son the money, they come grab me. Um, we in this bullpen, and here is like all of the sheriffs stay in this little area, and they got the regular police in like the other areas of the building. Whatever they are from Kalamazoo and or like Mizzou County, the surrounding area. Because you know the sheriffs, they go through the whole little county. They're not subject to your one little city. They'll move around. And they transport people as well. So they just gonna get ready to transport all us in these two vans. I think we took two vans or one, I don't remember. I was in one van full of guys and we pulled off. I think, and they stuffed us all in there. We drove downtown to the building, and we was like down under the ground in the court building downtown, in this little whatever underground. And the state's attorney come down there, come talk to some of us at the time, pulling us out like, this what the state want to do. What you want to do is you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they basically was like, they'll give me a little time if I plead guilty, and I was like, I'm cool with that, but I was like, how much time? But she was like, just a little bit, whatever. Woo, woo, woo. So she rushed out to say that. And I'm like, damn, I don't even know how much time, because this is how what happened with my first case. They was like, we don't know how much prison time, because little could be 10 years, little could be 5, a little could be 3. I don't fucking know. But we not play this game with me figuring out when it comes time. So either you have the answers for me or we just gonna take it all away and whatever happened, happened. So that's what happened with my first case that I went to trial and I lost. That's another other story. But anyway, with this situation, this video getting long. Um, she take me to the judge. The judge like, you got anything to say? And I'm in my oranges or whatever. And there's people in the public, they there because some people not in jail. They just show up to the court case. So I'm hearing this girl situation who was there before me, whatever they done. Then here I go standing up. She stuck around to listen, and some other people was in there listening. The public. He said he pled guilty. Woo, 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 he'll take a little time. Then I'm like, yeah, I said that, but I don't know how much time, and I don't know if I really want to agree to this. And then she was like, well, you promised anything? No. Woo, 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 no. She's like, well, if you plead guilty, then I'll give you time served, and we'll be because this case is, quite frankly, disappointed at this. But yeah, you plead guilty, violating your probation and leaving the state without permission. We just gonna wrap this up. You'll be done with everything because I had successfully completed my probation for Illinois, and I'm supposed to been off probation for Illinois and Michigan at the same time because they ran my cases concurrent instead of I forget what it is called when they don't run them together. But basically, they put my cases together, and I was supposed to have been doing them at the same time. But in the midst of that time, my PO had put a warrant on me, and he was like, "Fuck it, when I see you," type shit. Cause when I went there for my probation violation, he was on the screen as well, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm violating him for this, I'm violating him for that." And they're like, "Mr. Glenn, do you agree with these violations? Do you agree with your penalties or whatever for that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then them girls looking like, "Damn, he he ready to go down." He's saying yeah to everything, which sounds crazy, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes when you just plead guilty, you're gonna get that shit over with. It be turned out for the best. And that's what happened in my situation. Both my situations. I pled guilty. I got through those 90 days. It was a blessing. I had met some good guys. I learned a lot about myself, as I always do. And then when I finally got caught again, it was like all of that running, all of that shit I went through was for a purpose. It wasn't in vain because what I was doing along the way was trying to maintain and have a way to take care of my son, not leave my baby mama dealing with taking care of a child that she didn't create on her own. And it was rough as it was, as ugly as it is like no matter what, the best thing I could do is make something happen and not make an excuse. So that's what I do, and that's who I am. That's what I do. And it's like this year been very, very hard. Not hustling, not doing all these things that's dissatisfying to the Lord. My walk with Christ has been trying, nevertheless. But I'm receiving my daily bread. I'm not begging. I haven't been a beggar this year, even though I've been needing help. I thank God for my family. Family is what you make it. A lot of people don't spend time appreciating their family. If you have a mom, if you have a dad, appreciate them. Whether they're the best mom or the best dad, appreciate your siblings. Brothers are born for adversity. Sisters are born for humility. They'll humble you. My sisters are always there, lovely sisters. My brothers. Um, Family is important. A lot of people don't make it through these end time years because they don't understand the importance of family, friends, people who will stand in the rain with you even when they have the choice to stand dry. These are the people that you need to appreciate in life that help you get through times in life because none of us get through things on our own. These times that I was experiencing in my life, these trying times, I had my lovely mother, my family, my siblings, my lovely aunt who passed away this year. Um, these people are important people in my life. And I've been making a lot of sacrifices trying to live my dream. I haven't been spending a lot of time with my people. And I kind of regret that, thinking everything was going to be all right. My auntie got sick and passed, and I missed the opportunity to really say goodbye. Even with my cousin, it was like last November or August. I don't know, man. It's been fucked up. All I wanted to do for my birthday was just smoke and numb myself to stuff I've been going through. Even with last year starting digital marketing, the people that came across my path, um, some people was really draining. The stuff they was doing behind my back. Thank God for discernment because last year I didn't bring God along with me. I didn't put God in my business. That's what this book is about this year, putting God in my business. And my business was being attacked. It was being attacked spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, in every form and fashion that you could think of. This year I was more standoffish because of the attacks I experienced last year. And this year has been more powerful because I had God in my business. It's been it's been hard trying to stay faithful, trusting God. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when the reality is not what you think it should be when you serve God. But I'm happy. I haven't been this happy in a while. Um, I'm happy with my life. I'm happy with where I'm going, what direction I'm headed. I really just thank God every day for saving me from myself because I was on a downward spiral really fast. And I'm telling where I would be right now to this day if it wasn't for God's mercy and grace. Thinking about the person who I became when I was in the streets was a person I didn't like, and I noticed it. I was having constant evil thoughts, entertaining those thoughts. Just not a good person to myself or to others. And it wasn't something that I enjoyed. It wasn't something that brought me happiness. But it was something that kept me in power, if you want to say, with resources that slipped away as quick as they came. I just noticed a lot, like, how God been keeping me, building something that no man can take away. And that's what has been going on. Some days I don't feel like, as enthusiastic or as excited or creative as I was when I started digital marketing. Some days I feel like I just got that dream, that vision, like if it's brand new. But nevertheless, it's about me, what I want from this life. Not everything I want is what I need. So I'm learning how to ask God, is this something that I need for myself? Though I want it, is this something that, is going to help me help others? And a lot of time God just tells me no. That's a hard answer as well. Even though I could go do this witchcraft and make stuff happen on my own, when God says no, it means no. And sometimes that's a problem with being obedient to God. When He says no, He got our best interest in mind. It's not because He wants us to not be pleased and have experienced certain desires. It's just because what we seek, what we think is best for us, is a step to get us closer to our termination. We want money to buy drugs to heal our pain, but that doesn't really work. All it does is give us more pain and more health problems and brings more stress. So we really always think we know what's best, but sometimes we really don't. We just want to destroy ourselves quicker than we really possibly should. A lot of us are in our own way to healing. We're in our own way to happiness. I was once that person. Um, from time to time, I am that person. The only thing that helps me is knowing that I have Christ, a word that's true and everlasting, a word that never comes back void, a word that's proven to be true time and time again, a word that doesn't lie. Everything that God tells me, speaks to me, is always enlightening. Enlightening. Just looking at this book, it's not a Bible, but it's inspired from the Bible. And these are some very good passages that I read. The way that they put them together. When suffering strikes, remember that I am sovereign and that I can bring good out of everything. And that is the truth. Being in jail, it was a lot of good moments. I wasn't suffering as you think people would, which sounds crazy. I'm not saying go to jail, have fun. No, it ain't a fun place at all by any means. Um, I just remember being safe. Even though I gang bang and stuff like that, it's not a safe thing to do either because you got to be careful who you run with. Some of these organizations, some of these people, you be in a race to hell. Who get there the quickest? Who get there first? And as fun as it sounds, exciting as it sounds, the things that you do, get caught up in, it's just a trip to hell. Lose your life, lose your soul, and lose all the faith that you would possibly could have in Christ Jesus to save us from this eternal damnation that we quickly run to. The road to destruction is wide open. And that's why so many people are quick to be lost and so far into being lost because that road is so wide open. But when you turn around and so many people steady coming in, it's hard to get back out. That's why people fall into certain sins, certain temptations, certain habits, and can't get out because the wide is so open to get in. But the bad thing about that is so many people on their way through it, it's hard to push through them people to get back. That's why such a resistance with certain habits that people have because it becomes who you are and you roll with that momentum. That's what these 90-day challenges are about, to create new habits, to learn high income earning skills, to get so far into these new habits that you can't turn back, to where you start enjoying your sacrifices by moving, taking those baby steps forward, going through that narrow path that wasn't as easy as that wide path. And that's what I've been doing. This narrow path isn't easy, but I'm glad I took this route and I'm glad that my mind is being changed, so I don't want to turn around and do that 180. I do 360s from time to time to see what happened, but to turn right back around and to keep it going, because the marathon continues and the finish line is ahead of me, not behind me. So I don't do 180s. I don't do full turnarounds unless it's of a character or anything self-development of myself that I need to turn around from and change the way that I look at it and change the way that I move, change the way that I look at certain things that aren't helpful to me, like major sins and addictions people struggle with, uh, drugs, number one, uh, pornography, uh, stealing, lying. Might not seem as bad as the first two, but there nothing good that comes with it. Violence. A lot of people entertain gory things and stuff like that, and they be tempted to go commit sins of violence. Uh, Adultery. People out here so horny, they catching all type of stuff and passing it on along. You hear this cases going up, different states. I'm not gonna put nobody on blast because who knows what's going on in these other states that haven't been talked about yet. It's a similar spirit in every state. It's no this one's doing worse than that. Everybody got it going on. Be foolish to think different or otherwise. I'm just saying this to say you guys be safe and be vigilant. Make sure you keep your head on the swivel and pray to God to give you the gift of discernment so you won't be easily a victim of these things, of these people who, you know, keep doing these 360s on sins. They're not really fully turning away from them. They'll tell you I'm done with it, but you see them indulging in this stuff. Just pray to God open that veil so you guys won't be following behind deception and end up deceived. Um, that's it for today. I appreciate you for sticking around with me. I just want to hear not to just chat, but to put a lot of information out to help save a soul, and that you could help possibly save another soul, and that we all can live in eternity, enjoying the riches that God has for us, many mansions and everything. This world will never be a place that we can be equally yoked. It'll never be a place where we could be fully sustained and or accommodated for our gifts, our talents, and sacrifices. Some people work their whole lives and don't receive the money that they're worth. They don't receive the recognition they're worth, but nevertheless, they die and they live a happily life. And some people be like, that's nonsense. Why don't you want to live good here? And that's like all of that preacher talk or whatever they like. That's, I know y'all heard it. They say the preacher tell you to live good in heaven while they live good now. But you know what? It's nothing wrong with that because when you're trying to be like the world and you thinking like the world, you agree with the world, that's already a big red flag because the world is a fallen place that a lot of fallen people are in. Those who are different than those of the world. They shine differently. They speak differently. They act differently. They're usually persecuted because they're so alienated. People look at them strange, like same way they did Jesus Christ. And that's the price you pay when you decide to be different. The world doesn't like it. But it's like, in this lifetime, it's about being humble. We have the power to do right. And people think power is when you getting over on people or you have the most wealth. That's not true power. Power is being humble. Power is meekness. Power is control. Power is when you have the ability to do harm to someone, to get over on someone, and you decide not to, controlling your impulses, controlling your anger. That's true power. Controlling your anxiety, being patient when things push you to be otherwise. That's true power. And that's what power is really about. A real king is appointed by the people because of his power, the way that he serves the people, the same way that Jesus Christ did. That kind of love is truly powerful. It's contagious. A lot of people want a piece of it. Jesus didn't go around telling people about who he is or what he did. People went around saying who he is and what he did. And when they got around him, they just felt and seen something different, that they wanted to know who he is. And that's how it is. The people of the world, they have all this money, they have all these nice things, but yet still nobody want to know who they are if they didn't have these things because they're empty inside. They don't have the Holy Spirit. They're not a light of this world. So therefore they make themselves a light and they want to darken you by making you feel inadequate, making you feel like you're not enough. You see it all the time, right? You can't sit at certain tables with certain people because you don't have certain things. When the whole time you have everything you need, which is Christ Jesus. In Christ Jesus, we have everything because everything is God. God created it all. We are co-creators with Christ. And once you allow Christ to lead your life and to create the happiness that you desire, that you deserve, you will start trusting God more. That you can have peace and happiness in this fallen world, and all of these material things will be added unto you. Things that you won't have to be chasing after. Things that you God know you need, like food, shelter, water, transportation, friends, money, right? All of these things. You'll learn to be content and be happy with your daily bread. My daily bread is just this word of Christ, this living word that feeds my spirit each day. I could read this word and not eat anything today and be full. For some reason, the Holy Spirit just take my mind off of these worldly things, and therefore I become superhuman. People will be like, you know, these worldly things should be affecting you. They don't though, because I'm filled with the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit doesn't need these worldly things to be satisfied. Just like these spirits that y'all pray to and that y'all ask for certain things, they don't need this stuff. But they know how to give it to you because they know that's what we care about. But what they care about is you being eternally on their side to fight that spiritual battle. And that's what this is all about. It's not about getting comfortable in this world and not picking a side because therefore you have no spiritual guidance. You have no spiritual protection or no spiritual power. And you're going to be the one that these spirits like to play with and to use to corrupt the minds of others and or to unalive others. I keep on bringing up this TV show that I'm watching because there's so much deception in the world, and there's been deception in the world since the beginning of time. And even though it seems like entertainment, I'm learning a lot from this stuff. I just thought I had my ring on. I'm learning a lot from this stuff. I got this from my sister. She gave me a lot of good gifts. All my sisters. I love my sisters. Um, hey, man. Who did the dog? Austin was. He had put him in there. No, he did the Austin one. He just went in there? Yeah. What? Did what Austin at? He's living. You want to get her? Lacey? Ask him if you want him in there. Yeah, he's a team. For real? Yeah. All right, I'll come. Yeah, thank you. You are. Yeah, this little ring I got from my sister. She be giving me a lot of gifts. We be giving each other stuff. It's the Serenity Prayer on here with a cross on there. God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference. I like this ring. I had many rings. This girl proposed to me. We got into an argument. It flew off my hand. She took that motherfucker, pawned it. I'm like, damn, or whatever she did with it. And then one time, when my sister passed, Angela, we was at Culver's, me and my other sisters and siblings getting some food or whatever. Then me and my sister that gave me this ring, we get into it. Throw something out the window, my ring go whoop, right off the hand. Oh damn! I get out, couldn't find it. That was a move ring. It was black, so it flipped off, and then it must have turned green in the grass because I didn't see it anymore. Usually it'd be green or blue. Those usually be my colors. And every now and then it'd just be solid black. But yeah, I'm like, man, I haven't had a ring in a while. I had a lot of them. And I try to keep up with them. I like this one. I had a chain to go with this as well. I gave it to one of my cousins. Oh, that what she did with it. Let me go see what's going on with this dog, man. Fucking animals, man. I'm not an animal type of person, really. I don't really care about that yet. I do, but I don't. I don't care about them enough to be taken care of and shit. Like, nah, I don't have time for that shit. You know, I don't need them for protection. Definitely don't. Fuck around, find out if that's what you want to do. Shit, I don't play that type of stuff. Um, man, long eyelashes they be falling out in my eye. That shit be irritating. But yeah, I just don't be having the patience for it. Like I really don't. It's never been my thing. Never will be. It's too much work, unnecessary to me. But kudos to those of you who about that lifestyle, because I'm not. Just can't get with it. Not feeling it. About time for a retwist too. My shit kind of all over the place. I'm excited about my birthday coming up, man, y'all. I don't feel any older, don't feel any younger, but I do feel a difference. I know I see a difference. I'm ready to go collect, dog, on my birthday. 14 days. Happy birthday, Cuzzo, Shonda, my cousin birthday week. 2 weeks apart. Exactly 2 weeks apart. And what's crazy about that is just because I'm a boy or whatever logic I had to even come up with this reason, I thought I was older than her, and I thought we both were Scorpios. Just because our birthdays in October, crazy. Huh? Out of all my family, on my mom's side, she the only one with a birthday in October, like mine. And on my dad's side, uh, I think like three people birthday in October. Two of my cousins, Shanae, Shamari, and London, I think. And then Zaria, her birthday the 27th. I mean the 29th, a day after mine. Shamari, her birthday the 26th, 2 days before mine. I think Shanae birthday in November, I believe. I'm not sure. But in my household, I'm the only one birthday in October. So it's like September, the last 2 weeks of September. Well, actually, the whole month of September, I got three birthdays, my mom and two of my sisters. And then the next month of October, I got my son birthday the first week of October, October the 5th, but he stayed with his mom. Then my birthday the end of the month, and no more birthdays until December the 7th and December 25th, which is my dad's and my little brother. My sister passed away December the 6th. My sister Angela. Um, she was 16 years old. I always, I did so much drugs. I kind of forget some memories we had. And when I first got locked up, they told me like, this guy, he was like, I had an angelic experience. He had a name from the Bible. His name was, I think his name was Michael or something. I met three guys in jail when I first had my first case and my sister passed. I met three guys with three Bible names: Jonah, David, and Michael, I believe. Or I don't remember the last dude name, but he was the one that told me about like if you do a lot of drugs and trying to cope, all that does is erase the memory slowly but surely of your loved one that you're trying to remember. And I was like, I hope not, because he looked like a junkie. Not to be talking about people, but I've been around dope fiends and served the dope fiends. I know what they look like. And I'm listening to this guy. I'm kind of believing because like maybe this what happened to him. I don't know, but his presence was so strong, and I felt like it was a Holy Spirit or something. Like not many people have a strong presence. Um, Two of my nieces got strong presence. My niece Joy and my niece Anaya. Little people, but when they come in the room, they feel like big giants because they got such a strong presence. If you ever been across anybody, met anybody with strong presence, this is what I'm talking about. And even though I'm in a room with a lot of people, he's the only one I feel. Plus, we next to each other. But I felt him when he was coming. I was like, damn, who is that? What's that? Because I'm laying down, I got my back turned, then I feel somebody like coming in the room like a big dude. But he wasn't big at all. He was a small little white guy. And he come and I'm looking, I'm like, damn, that's him. And then he come and he sit next to me or whatever, because his little pallet, we all laid on the floor across like the dorm. Other niggas upstairs in the bunks. But there's so many people in his jail room that we at the door, here go your bed. You already got your little covers, your whatever, right? Your pillow, your little cup, toothbrush. And they giving you a mat so as you get to the door. You in a line full of niggas. They got a big ass pile of mats that they pull one down. Here you go in there, go find a spot. There you go. You know, it's like 40 people. There you go, there you go, there you go. Man, it's already like 42 people in there on bunks. It's like 24 bunks. No, it's like 22 bunks, I think. It's about 22 bunk beds or whatever. So it's like 44 people. And no, 45 because there's one extra bed like off to the side. Like that person was the lucky person, they get their own bed. But the rest of us, we downstairs on the floor because it's upstairs, downstairs. And downstairs, they got the tables where we sit at and eat, the phones. So it's like niggas all around the tables, around the walls, under the phones, everywhere. And I'm like towards the corner a little bit because I was like in the middle that came in the middle of the pack. So I was like probably number 10 or something. So it was enough room along the wall still. But he was like, but he told me something. It was first godly, then he got into some old witchcraft stuff. He was like, you need to make a shrine in the backyard and do all of this stuff. Like, I wasn't feeling that part. Maybe he had God with him, maybe he had something else, but he had a strong spirit. But the beginning of the conversation was helpful. But towards the end, it got into some old, I don't know, some weird stuff. Like, I don't like to talk to the dead, you know, no disrespect to the dead, but I don't do that stuff. I just don't. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't think that I should. I will. I won't do it. We'll go into the rest of this story later. But peace and blessings from Team Angie. Happy Tuesday.